Aloha kako. We're going to be getting started in just a few minutes as we all get set up here. So we're making sure that our live stream is working properly. So aloha to all of our ohana friends, community that's joining us, whether you're on YouTube, aloha no. If you're on one of our Facebook partner pages, aloha no. And we have so many partners, and we're so thankful for everyone that's joining us today. We had so many that responded to our live stream response. And so, sit back. We have a great mo'olelo to share with all of you today. And I do see that we're live now on our YouTube. So aloha again. We would love to hear from you in the chat. If you're on our Hawaii Pono'i or Oiwi TV YouTube channels, we have so many partners, and we're just so thankful for everyone that is joining us from throughout the Pai'aina, also beyond on the continent, and we know that we have some friends joining us from different parts of the world. So aloha again, and we're excited as a part of Hawaiian History Month 2025 that we get to bring you a whole variety of programming throughout the month. It all started on Queen Lili'uokalani's birthday on September 2nd, when we launched the official Hawaiian History Month. This is the first year that it got signed into law by our governor on June 3rd, 2025. And a big mahalo to so many of our Association of Hawaiian Civic Club members that really began this process through a resolution. And then we were able to continue to advocate for a great, for all of us to be able to not just celebrate Hawaiian history during the month of September, but really use it as a kickoff so that throughout the year, throughout our lifetime, we can all celebrate Hawaiian History Month together. And so this program today, we're excited. I'm excited to learn more about this mo'olelo that is coming out from San Diego, California. And we have so many amazing presenters that are joining us from different parts, I believe, of San Diego. And they've all been working. I've been learning more and more about the research that they've been doing, and sharing this story about Kanaka Davis, not only in San Diego, but really throughout Hawaii and throughout the continent. And so I think we're ready to hand it over now to all of our presenters, and I welcome all of them. Smile, everybody. We can see you.
Oh, mahalo.
Aloha. So I'm gonna hand it off to our moderator, who will also be introducing everyone. Aloha no e anakalagil antai.
Mahalo. Mahalo, Malia. Aloha, everybody. Aloha kaku, everybody. All my family, friends, all the folks back home, and of course, all the Kanaka Maoli on continental USA. Moku hono. Mahalo, first of all, to Hawaii Pono'i Coalition. We mahalo you so much for giving us this opportunity to share the mo'olelo of our historic figure, William Heath Davis. His nickname was called Kanaka Davis or Kanaka Bill, but way back in 1850, he came here as a young man and did marvelous things. So we're going to share this mo'olelo with you with a panel of people, 5 people. And we're going to start with Auntie Dolly Crawford, who's going to give us a little story about how this all began with the coming of the Hōkūleʻa to San Diego. And then when she's pau, we're going to go to Gail Wright, and she's going to share with us all the work she did researching about this Hawaiian guy. And then when Bill is done, we're going to have Bob Crawford, who's going to talk about his role in educating school children, our own community. Wherever he goes, he even dresses up like Kanaka Davis. And the guy looked just like Kanaka Davis. So it's amazing. So we're going to have him talk about what he does. And then we're going to have Nancy Strauss after him. And she's going to talk about her family, which is descendants from that Davis family. So Kanaka Davis' brother, Robert Davis, their family line, their ohana is directly from them. So we want to share her story with the folks back home and here on the mainland. Then I will wrap it up with how we formed this coalition of calamite, different groups, and all the hard work we put into 3 years in creating this monument and head bust that now sits in his park in Pantoja Park in San Diego, and a bust in his museum. So I'll talk about that. And then we're going to wrap up with Uncle Lono Polar, who's going to share with us some observations and some insights that he would like to share with all of us. So with that, let me start. I'm going to share my screen. Can you all see it?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. All right. So this is our introduction slide. It's the monument itself in Pantoja Park. So something a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Oahu. Grew up in Palolo Valley. Went to Kahiki High School and UH at Manoa. On my Hawaiian side, our family has been, we've been, my ancestors have served Kamehameha the First in the crown. Some of you may be familiar with Emma Metcalf Kui'ina. That is my great aunt. And so we're very proud of her work. So just so that you know who I am, a little bit about myself. I want to take a little short journey while we go through this mo'olelo on Kanaka Davis. Across the park from his house, his museum, is this hotel. It's called the Horton Grand. And in 1890, the end of 1890, Kalakaua stayed here. He made a 5-day trip from San Francisco down to San Diego. And he stayed on Wednesday. He was here Monday through Friday. But on Wednesday, he stayed here, or rested here, because he made a speech to his Masonic order. But in this hotel, just kitty corner from his house, is a landmark. And so I thought I'd share this story because when Kalakaua went back to San Francisco at the end of the week, 20 days later, he died, as you all know, up in San Francisco. And so I thought I'd just share this short story with you. Some pictures of the lobby. It's exactly how it looked like back then. This is the actual lobby foyer that he came into. They used to have a big picture of him over here by the staircase. But no more. I don't know what happened to it. But this hotel is still there. And if you ever come to San Diego, I know one of the rooms is named after him. Interesting story. So like I said, just kitty corner, right across the block, is the Davis house. So this, what you see, that yellow house in the back, all that bushy trees, is the Davis Museum. It is his house, the only remaining house left that is now a museum. And we're very proud of that. we'll talk more about this later on, about the museum. Okay, so our next introduction is Auntie Dolly Crawford. So Auntie, you want to go through this?
Yes. Aloha mai kako. My name is Dolly Kiahiola Crawford. I was born and raised in Haleiwa on the seashore on the north shore of Oahu. I'm Native Hawaiian and 1/8 Chinese. Graduated from Wailu High School and St. Francis Hospital School of Nursing. Married Bill Crawford in San Diego I can't even see it, in 1956. And we have lived here ever since. And I've become a member of the Hui of Hawaii here in 1967 and served on its board. And in 1993, I founded the Ahuhui Kibila Hawaii O San Diego Hawaiian Civic Club. And in 1994, I was a member of the steering committee on the welcoming of the Hōkūleʻa. So here we go. Aloha mai kako, and the welcoming of the Hōkūleʻa. In the fall of 1994, a group of Hawaiian leaders met with the director of the Hawaii Maritime Museum and the president of the Polynesian Voyaging Society to discuss a joint effort in welcoming the Hōkūleʻa to the west coast of the United States. The purpose being to impart to the coastal communities the knowledge that our ancestors sailed the ocean without instruments, but by the art of wayfinding, the use of the moon, sun, stars, ocean, waves, wind, and bird flights. Our goal was to plan a community-wide event, inclusive of the other Pacific Islanders and Kumeyaay Indians, the indigenous people of San Diego County. The San Diego Hōkūleʻa Steering Committee was formed to develop a traditional welcoming ceremony and the Pacific Island Festival. It was during this planning that the committee was made aware by a member of the Chinese community that the founder of San Diego was Hawaiian. His name, William Heath Davis. The committee took the responsibility to learn more. Gail Wright became our source. Davis has a page in our festival booklet. He is mentioned in a whereas paragraph in the governor's proclamation. On Friday, September 21st, 1995, the Hōkūleʻa arrives in San Diego Harbor, greeted by our traditional welcoming. Later that day, the ho'okupu ceremony is held at Pantoja Park, honoring William Heath Davis, native son. On July 22nd, 23rd, 1995, the first Pacific Island Festival in San Diego is held at the Embarcadero Marina Park North, and the Hōkūleʻa is anchored close by, and you can notice the picture there. In closing, I would like to share this paragraph written by Honolulu Era Steering Committee Chair, published in our festival booklet in 1995. Quote, "Never before have we allowed ourselves to reach out to each other to create a common vision in order to achieve a common purpose. Never before have we combined our energies and talents to showcase our distinctive cultures before the whole San Diego community. Already we are different because of this event." On September 21st, 2024, the San Diego Pacific Islander Festival celebrated its 30th anniversary. Mahalo, mahalo ke akua.
Mahalo, Dolly. This is a
Did I?
proclamation. Go ahead, Dolly.
Yes. Was I supposed to run this?
No, just going through some slides. As part of
Okay.
the celebration, we had the mayor of San Diego do a proclamation recognizing the visitation of the Hōkūleʻa. And here's an example of that, or a copy of that resolution.
And this is the Ho'okupu celebration. And the kumu is Antamina Aranyo. And dancers are Anthea Austin, Noah Detwilder, and gosh, I forgot her name.
That's Sheffield.
She's very active. Yeah.
Sheffield, huh?
But we were very proud to be able to have a whole kupu for her as part of our Pacific Island Festival celebration. Oh, of course. And there's Gil.
And Antimina.
And Antamina Aranyo, the Kumuhula enchanter. And this is the group.
Antimina.
Oh, the one in the center is Denise Dudawa Myers. I believe she was one of the presidents of the Civic Club, and I think she's very active. So was Anthea Austin. I think she's going to convention this year. And this is a resolution that Ahuhui Kivila Hawaii in November at the association convention, we put in the resolution honoring posthumously William Mahi Davis, native son of Hawaii, founder of modern San Diego, and pioneer developer of California. And there's a lot of whereases in that, but this was the start that the association finally realized that, and there's a short newsletter, they have a blurb that they were not aware that he was a founder and who he was. So I think that, the Hōkūleʻa visit to San Diego started a lot of things besides the festival that keeps on going after 30 years. So I'm really proud to be about it. That. Thank you.
And again,
and this is the Embarcadero Marina North, and there is the Hōkūleʻa out there.
Right there.
Right.
All right. Mahalo, Auntie Dolly. Very, very nice. So my next speaker is Auntie Gail. Right. So Gail, Auntie, you want to begin?
Hi. Aloha, everyone. And I want to thank you for allowing me the privilege of being part of this discussion. Anyway, I am not Native Hawaiian, nor was I born in the islands. However, I was married to a Native Hawaiian, William Harrison Wright Jr., or Bill, for many years, and we lived in Hawaii for several of those years. Bill was born on the island of Kauai in the small town of Kekaha. Job transfers took us to San Diego, where we lived for over 30 years. While there, we were active in the Hawaiian community, joining the Hui o Hawaii of San Diego, and were charter members of the Civic Club, Ahahui Kavila Hawaii o San Diego. Because of my degree in anthropology and experience with cultural resources, I was asked if I would research and write articles on Hawaiian history for the Mainland Council of the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs to be presented at their quarterly meetings. The council even added a historical sites committee that would be my responsibility, and it is still active. I was encouraged by members of the San Diego Civic Club to do so. And for several years, each quarter, I would produce an article focusing on Hawaiians visiting, working, and or living on the continent. I also included research articles that I did write while in college relating to the culture and history of the Pacific, concentrating on Polynesia. So let's look at the first slide, a photo of the journal. Finally, in 2015, it was suggested that all of these articles should be made into a booklet. The idea of compiling these articles into a journal publication was the idea of Margaret Sanborn and T. Furtado, both of the San Diego Civic Club members, as well as the board of the Mainland Council. The title of our booklet is The Hawaiian Journey Across Time, Sea, and Space. The journal was published by Premier Printing and Graphics, owned by a Civic Club member, Richard Chang. The intent of the journal was to make this history information available to a wider audience and to share the extensive and wonderful contributions that were made by ancient and even more recent Native Hawaiians to perpetuate their culture wherever they traveled, wherever they settled. At the time, Margaret Sanborn was then Mainland Council Hōkūleʻa Ailua, and T. Furtado was the immediate past president. All of this is done with the gracious support of Mainland Council Pelekakena at the time, Charlene Louis. Next picture, please. During my research, I learned several surprising things. First, in his book, 2 Years Before the Mast, Richard Henry Dana wrote about his experiences in San Diego. He wrote that in 1935, about 20 Native Hawaiian Kanakas were living on Point Loma area of San Diego, which you see in this picture. The picture is the entrance to San Diego Harbor with Point Loma, the peninsula off the eastern edge of San Diego. Anyway, he wrote that they were sleeping on the beach. Some were sleeping in an abandoned Russian bread oven. Imagine that. Records show them enjoying their idle time between ships during this era of extensive trade between Hawaii, Alaska, California, and China. Dana wrote that some of the Kanaka even hired themselves out to cure cow hides, one of the more lucrative trade items at that time. Secondly, as Uncle Gil mentioned earlier, San Diego was visited by King David Kalakaua from December 28th, 1890 through January 1st, 1891. Besides staying at the hotel Horton Grand, he mainly stayed at the Hotel del Coronado. He met with government and civic leaders of San Diego, encouraging strong trade and ties between their city and Hawaii. Next picture, please. I was next astounded to learn that Native Hawaiian William Heath Davis, known as Kanaka Bill or Kanaka Davis, had a major impact on the development of San Diego in the 1840s and 50s. His life story and history were one of the first articles that I researched and then wrote about for the Mainland Council. I also learned that very few, if any, knew about him and his history. It was my intent to change that. The next picture, please. Kanaka Bill was a Hawaiian entrepreneur, merchant, supercargo trader, town planner, and civic leader in the early years of California. His book, 75 Years in California, chronicles the events and times of pioneers who shaped California's history. He personally played a prominent role in the development of San Francisco, San Leandro, Oakland, and San Diego histories. We'll talk about this slide later. Go ahead. Next slide. This is the picture of his ship, one of his ships, the Euphemia, who often traveled to San Diego, and the warehouses in the background. This particular picture actually was taken in San Francisco. Born and raised in Honolulu in the Kingdom of Hawaii, he was the son of Captain William Heath Davis Sr. and Hana Kalikolehua, who was a granddaughter of High Chief Mahi. The Mahi family line traces back to High Chiefs of Maui, Oahu, and Hawaii Island. And one of our upcoming speakers will provide additional information about the Davis Mahi genealogy, both past and present. As a young man, Davis guided John Sutter up the Sacramento River when Sutter founded Sacramento, now the California state capital. And Davis was a very successful merchant during the California Gold Rush era, supplying the miners and merchants with all the supplies they needed to find all that gold. In 1847, Kanaka Bill married Maria to Jesus, who was the daughter of Jose Joaquim Estudillo, a prominent Mexican ranchero family with extended family roots all the way to the old town San Diego. This is Maria. In 1849, Kanaka Bill and Maria moved to San Diego, a city with which his ship Euphemia frequently traded. And let's have a next picture too. Will be a picture of William Heath Davis at that time. San Diego had a large, deep, and protected harbor, but no place to dock. Small boats would have to row out to the ships to load and unload cargo. While in San Diego, Davis envisioned a thriving shipping, commercial, and residential community on San Diego Bay and formed partnerships to develop 160 acres of waterfront land bounded by what he called Broadway, Front Street, and Harbor Drive. Those streets are still there to this very day. The plan included, let's have the next slide. The plan included, even though this is hard to read, this was a picture of his plans. I know you can't read it exactly. The plan included a space for a park, today called Pantoja Park. Dolly had mentioned that park is part of the Hōkūleʻa festival. They had laid out the original downtown streets for residents and businesses, and a large wharf for ships and warehouses for storage. Davis, believe it or not, had 10 New England-style prefabricated houses shipped from Boston. He called his town plan Newtown San Diego. And that small map on the left, the very top is the San Diego River. It's not very clear, but the San Diego River. Just below that, the writing is Old Town San Diego. And then more toward the middle, the next little written blurb is Newtown San Diego. And all of that area to the far left is Point Loma and then San Diego Harbor. Sorry that it's not very clear. The wharf and warehouses were built and used. The 10 houses were built and other development was underway when fate intervened in the form of the Civil War in 1861. This contributed to the delayed in construction of the railroad to San Diego, which Davis was counting on to improve the economy of San Diego. There were also problems with his import businesses in Northern California, including a major warehouse fire. These events resulted in his return to his home and businesses up north. Fortunately, one of the 10 prefabricated houses Davis had shipped, next slide please, had survived and is now a museum in the Gaslamp Quarter that he and his friends laid out in Newtown, San Diego. It was moved from the original location to its current location, next slide, on Island Avenue in the Gaslamp Quarter. It was finding that little museum when I started my research on Hawaiians in San Diego that I realized what an important part Davis played in the city's history that is just now beginning to be recognized, not only by Hawaiians and other Pacific Islanders, but by the local government and all people of San Diego. Best of all, I feel privileged to have played a small part in the current revival of San Diego history, acknowledging the part Kanaka Bill played in that history. Our next speaker will provide additional depth to the story of Kanaka Bill. And this is a great few pictures of the current museum and Davis House. Thank you all for your time. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you, Gail. So our next speaker is Uncle Bob. So Uncle Bob, take it from there.
Mute. Aloha. Thank you, Uncle Gil. Do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Excellent. I am Bob Crawford, the eldest son of Auntie Dolly and Bill Crawford, and I was born and raised in Southern California. I served on the board of directors for the Hōkūleʻa Steering Committee and the Pacific Island Festival Association. I am also a charter member of the Ahahui Kavila Hawaii of San Diego Civic Club, and I'm a member of the Hui o Hawaii of San Diego, as well as a member of the William Heath Davis Trust Group. My kuleana within the William Heath Davis Trust Group is community outreach and education. Next slide. Let's see what we got here. Ah, there's Mom. What's our next slide? Okay. My kuleana within the William Heath Davis Trust Group is community outreach and education. I often portray Kanaka Bill as the man from the 1850s. I dress in period costume and stay in character as Kanaka Bill, as he talks story about his life and accomplishments in early California. Recently, the efforts of the William Heath Davis Trust Group caught the attention of the San Diego School District. The school district has become interested in including the story of Kanaka Bill into their curriculum of the history of early San Diego. We were invited to hold a panel on William Heath Davis at the People of Pacifica High School Conference held at Morris High School earlier this year. I led that panel and covered over 200 years of California and Hawaiian history. I portrayed Kanaka Bill for events at the Horton Davis House in the Gaslamp Quarter. Next slide, please. And during that dedication of that monument, Kanaka Bill dropped in to share his personal story about the founding of modern San Diego. So we can turn off the slides and we can come a headshot to myself, please. Can you get me on the screen? A live shot? That's not me. I'm the one over here.
I think you're on, Bob.
Yeah, pick me up. Okay. Aloha. I am William Heath Davis, but my friends call me Kanaka Bill. I was born in the Kingdom of Hawaii in 1822. My father was a Boston sea captain and trader. My mother is the granddaughter of a Hawaiian princess of the Mahi line. My father died when I was quite young, and my mother remarried another Boston sea captain and trader. At the age of 9, I accompanied my stepfather on a trading voyage that took me to Alaska and the California coast. It was on this voyage that I was introduced into the trade of my father. The last stop on that voyage was the Presidio of San Diego. After my return to Hawaii, I continued to pursue my studies, but I was a restless soul. So at the age of 17, I sailed back to California to live with my uncle in Yerba Buena, which later became known as San Francisco. My uncle had a trading post there, and under his tutelage, I was able to learn the skills to become a successful trader myself. And it was around this time that a gentleman named John Sutter came to Yerba Buena. He was looking to start a new settlement upriver and needed a guide. I was very familiar with the American River, so I led a small expedition of 2 boats on an 8-day journey upriver before I dropped in off at a sandbar. A rarely mentioned fact about the Sutter's party: there were 6 fellow Kanaka Maoli in his group. Over the years, I became a ship's captain and a successful trader between California South America, Hawaii, and the Orient. And as it turns out, I was trading with some of the very same people my father had traded with before I was even born. One of those was the father of the woman whom I married, Maria de Jesus Estudillo of San Leandro. And it wasn't long after my marriage that gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill. I was one of the first to trade for gold from the mill, and I also supplied provisions for the many people that flocked to the area in search of gold. And by the age of 28, I found that I had become one of the wealthiest men in California. In 1850, Maria accompanied me on a trip to San Diego to visit her uncle living in the Presidio. While there, I was approached by a gentleman named Andrew Gray, who was surveying the border between California and Mexico, and he had an observation about San Diego that he wanted to share with me. Gray said that for San Diego to grow, it needed better access to the natural harbor. Did you know that since the Presidio's inception, over 80 years previous, the Presidio still offloaded ships at anchor with smaller boats at the playa, 7 dusty and rough miles away from the Presidio? As a ship's captain and a trader myself, I was very familiar with that trail. So I created a partnership with other gentlemen of like mind, and we purchased a tract of land about 4 miles south of the Presidio and adjacent to the harbor. We called our adventure Newtown, San Diego, and the Presidio soon became known as Old Town. I soon commissioned a map that had the names and the streets of Newtown. When people saw the map, they often asked me, "Bill, why are the blocks so short?" If you ever saw the blocks in Old Town, you'd know that those blocks were much larger than mine. So I'll tell you, if you promise to keep this a secret. The parcels are square, so I could sell more corner lots at a premium. More lots, more corners. After all, I am a businessman. I built a pier and a warehouse to encourage shipping, and through some rather skillful negotiations with the local Army quartermaster, I was able to have materials that were already offloaded at the playa, reloaded onto a ship, and redelivered to Newtown. This may have been accomplished because the quartermaster was given a share in Newtown for his assistance. An army barracks and a corral were soon built on land donated by the partnership to the U.S. government near the pier and warehouse. And it was around this time that I ordered from a sawmill in Maine 10 prefabricated houses, had them shipped to Newtown, and I had them built around the town plaza, known as Pantoja Park. While Newtown had access to the harbor, it did not have a reliable water source, and the railroad was delayed because of the Civil War. So the port did not develop as quickly as I'd hoped. And while I was busy in Newtown, a fire occurred in my warehouse in Yerba Buena. That fire wiped out most of my wealth, and I was forced to stay in the north in an effort to reestablish myself. In my absence, Newtown did not flourish as much as I'd hoped. 17 years after I founded Newtown, a gentleman named Alonzo Horton arrived in San Diego. He bought a tract of land adjacent to Newtown. For a time, Alonzo actually rented my old home while he built his own. To this day, some people believe that Alonzo Horton is the father of San Diego. You might say that I may have been a man ahead of my time, but of the new town of San Diego, now the city of San Diego, I can say that I was its founder. What slides do we have right now, Uncle? I'm getting out of character right now. Welcome to the 20th century. So, the land that Davis once called Newtown, San Diego has now become known as the gas lamp quarter of San Diego, and the streets and the names on his map still exist today after 175 years. Throughout his life, Kanaka Bill was influential in the early development of other California cities, such as San Francisco, Oakland, and San Leandro. He was once asked to run for governor for the state of California, but he turned that down. Do you have a copy of the book there in those slides, Uncle?
Which book?
The 75 years
Oh,
in California?
No, we don't, but it's in
Okay.
the museum. It is in the museum.
Okay. So Davis spent his later years in San Francisco, compiling his records and recollections of early California. The Great San Francisco earthquake saw the loss of his nearly completed manuscript, but luckily, his notes survived. Others have since compiled these together to create some of the best historical records of California for that time period. Authors and historians still refer to the writings of William Heath Davis in their research. For myself, I will continue to share the story of William Heath Davis, a native Hawaiian who had a significant impact on the history of California, as often as I can. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Uncle Bob. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Very good. Very good. I think I'm going to go back and share. Okay. Can everybody see this?
Yes,
All
I
right.
know that guy.
There's Kanaka Davis again, alive. Tell us about this slide.
This is a slide at one of our events as my outreach at the museum.
All right. Mahalo, 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 mahalo. Very well done. So our next speaker is Auntie Nancy Strauss, and I have the honor of presenting her. Auntie, she's also my cousin on the Mahi side. Auntie Nancy,
Mahalo.
all yours.
Mahalo. Yes, I am a descendant of the parents of William Heath Davis, and I would like to kind of backtrack and piggyback on the Hōkūleʻa arriving in 1995. That's when my mother, Beatrice Mary King Ullman, was asked to attend a ceremony at Pantoja Park, located in downtown San Diego. Mother was of Hawaiian ancestry and a direct descendant, like I said, of Captain William Heath Davis Sr. and Hannah Kalikole Holmes, mother of Robert Grimes Davis and William Heath Davis Jr., who was the founder of Newtown, San Diego. Allow me to share a little bit about Mother's California story with you. My parents met in Honolulu after the war, as Dad was stationed at Pearl Harbor and Mother worked at Hawaiian Telephone Company as the assignment manager. They married and the Navy relocated them to San Diego, where they decided to remain. My sister Betty and I spent our formative years in San Diego, but Mother never forgot her Hawaiian roots. She was our kumu hula, introduced us to Ono Kaukau, and shared many stories of her Hawaiian lineage. But we never read about some of the stories in the textbooks that we had here in California. We knew of Kanaka Davis being a relative, but his story was never told. When we moved to Hawaii for 2 years, it felt like home. We returned to San Diego, and Betty and I were already playing the ukulele and dancing hula at many luau's as Mother was the director. After college, I married a career naval officer, and we had 4 children, Katie, Robert, Philip, and Marriott. We were all blessed to have lived in Hawaii for a few years. And we could change the picture, please. So that's Marriott, Philip, myself, Robert, and Katie. Katie and her daughter dance hula in the Chicago area, as does Marriott in New York City. Robert's son, Bennett, was enrolled at Punahou's Hawaiian Immersion Summer Class for children not living in Hawaii. And Philip moved back to Honolulu 2009 to 2020. Unfortunately, COVID basically shut down the tourist and entertainment industry, so he was able to come home and help me with his father. I returned to Hawaii as much as possible to visit cousins, honor both my husband at Punch Bowl and my kupuna, who rest peacefully. And let me share with you a little bit about my Hawaiian lineage. Next slide, please. My mother, Beatrice, who is right there in the middle, was born in 1922 in Honolulu, territory of Hawaii, and raised at Haliko, which was the King homestead in Kaneohe. This vast piece of property belonged to my grandfather and his siblings. So my mother was a country girl raised on the windward side of Oahu with her aunts, uncles, and cousins as her neighbors and friends. Because mother's older sister on the right wanted to go to high school in town, her father sold his property in 1936 and they moved. Now I will proceed to go backwards in our family lineage, of which I am proud to share. My maternal, can you come back to that one slide, please, with the family, the Ohana? Mahalo. My maternal grandfather on the left was Daniel Herman King. He was born in 1889 on Oahu in the Kingdom of Hawaii. Next slide, please. His mother, it's kind of hard to see, but she is on the lower left. Let me see, where am I? I'm sorry. His mother of my grandfather was my great-grandmother, Charlotte Holmes Lelepoki Davis, born in 1852 on Oahu in the Kingdom of Hawaii. She was married to James Anderson King, a sea captain from Scotland, who ultimately became the interior minister after the overthrow of the government or the kingdom. Charlotte's parents were my great-grandfather, Robert Grimes, who is in the center. He was born in 1819 on Oahu in the Kingdom of Hawaii, and his first cousin, Harriet Swain Hammett, was his wife. That was his first cousin, the daughter of Charlotte Holmes, who was the sister of Robert's mother. So Harriet Swain Hammett was the first cousin of Robert Grimes Davis. William Heath Davis Jr. was the brother of Robert, therefore my great-great-granduncle. He was married to Maria de Jesus Estudio of Pueblo de San Diego, Alta y Baja California. Their father, Captain William Heath Davis Sr., a Boston ship captain, married Hannah Kalikulehua Holmes on Oahu, Kingdom of Hawaii. Her parents, which are in this particular photo or slide, Mahi on the left, go back, Mahi on the left, and Oliver Holmes on the right. Hannah's mother was Mahi Kalani Ho'olomoku Ikekai, born 1770, circa, in the Kingdom of Oahu. Her husband was Oliver Holmes from Kingston, Plymouth County, Massachusetts, who ultimately became the third governor under King Kamehameha I. Mahi's father was High Chief Kalani Ho'olomoku Ikekai of the Ko'olau district and was at the Battle of Nu'uanu. Again, I would like to have the next slide. And these are part of the historic part of William Heath Davis, the buildings. I would invite all who live in San Diego or those visiting our beautiful city to put the gas lamp museum at the Davis Horton House and the William Heath Davis Monument on your must-see list. You will learn so much about a Hawaiian boy who, as a teenager, left the Aina and shared his aloha. But he really didn't leave. He took the islands with him. He shared the spirit and became a Native Hawaiian pioneer and part of the history of California. We could go through the slides.
Oh,
Continue? No?
that's it.
No?
That's
I
it.
think there are a couple more.
Oh,
And there is Mother and me at the Pico ceremony at the Davis house, the museum, the gas lamp museum. And you must understand that when Mother was going through school, the history of Hawaii was not really taught necessarily in the schools. And so it wasn't until probably 2 months before she passed away in 2023 that she was included in another part of history celebrating the birthday of her great grand uncle. And the following slides will show how much she was adored at the activity. They just loved talking story with her because she was only a couple of generations away from Kanaka Davis. So her father, his mother, and then Kanaka Davis. So, and there are some more slides, Uncle, that right, that Lono had found. And there she is with Dolly. And Dolly was insistent. She was she wouldn't take no for an answer, and she would call Mother and leave a message. And Mother was very guarded with even answering the phone. If she didn't recognize you, she would not answer the phone. So Dolly was persistent. And one day, Dolly said, "I'm going to call Mrs. This phone number, because this is the only one I have from 1995." And so Dolly called, and my mother said, "Okay, I'll answer." And when she answered, Dolly said, "Well, this is Dolly Crawford, and I'm looking for a BB Allman." And Mother came back with a very strong voice and said, "Well, this is BB Allman, or Beatrice. This is Beatrice Allman." And Dolly could not believe it. She was talking to history. And Dolly came over and visited only because I was there. Mother would not let any stranger in the house, but she said, "When my daughter comes, I will allow you to come over and visit." So we talked story for about 3 hours. And by the time Dolly left, we were ohana with her. So continue on with the next slide. That's kind of a scary picture of me, but that's okay. And there we are. It's a group with William Heath Davis picture as center, and some of the people who work at the museum and the historians and Uncle Gil. So it was just a lovely, lovely affair. And I'm just glad my mother was able to experience it. And I think maybe, and there's my sister and me, we were invited to speak just a little bit at the May 10th ceremony this year in Pantoja Park, when the unveiling and the dedication of the William Heath Davis Memorial structure. I guess it's not just a plaque, it's a structure. And obviously we were having a good time. And there we are with our short speech. And afterwards, we led the attendees in our song Hawaii Pono'i. So as I conclude, I just want to say mahalo. There are a couple of more photos or slides, Gil. Mother would like to send her mahalo as a young person, and the next slide as the matriarch of our family, still looking beautiful in her aloha attire. As I said during the unveiling, with my sister by my side at the ceremony in May, Uncle William, your vision not only survived, it thrived and continues to do so in San Diego. Mahalo for allowing me to share a snippet of our lineage. And I know my mother is watching wherever she is. Mahalo nui loa.
Mahalo, Auntie Strauss, cousin, beautiful mo'olelo. Thank you. What a lovely story. All right, so I'm going to talk about the monument itself, how we got there, and the story, 3 years of what we did to create this monument and to bring public awareness of who Kanaka Davis was and what he did, and the pride that he has generated for the next generation and for us as well, the Kapunas. So I'm going to start with the creating of his bust. There was very little pictures of him. So what you see is a digital AI reconstruction of his head bust. And it's pretty good based on the pictures that we put together. It's the likeness is very close to all the pictures that we were able to put together. But this is the plastic cast before the actual bronze is created. As you know, we try to put a little layer around him so that it looks more Hawaiian. I presented this idea to the 2022 Pacific Islander Festival Association before a crowd of some 35,000 people. I put the challenge before the community and I said, do you know, in San Francisco and in San Leandro, they honor Kanaka Davis with a street named after him. But in San Diego, there's nothing that recognizes him. So I put the challenge before the crowd that we need to all rally behind creating a monument that recognizes this Pacific Islander and what he did. And this was three years ago. So we started off, as Auntie Dolly had mentioned, with the Hōkūleʻa coming to San Diego. And with Gail's study, we realized that, wow, this local boy created downtown San Diego. But what started this is symbolically the arrival of the Hōkūleʻa. And what you're seeing here is the flag of the Hōkūleʻa on its maiden voyage to Mokuhonu. This is a 27-year-old flag that was wrapped in tapa, and we unveiled it for the first time as almost 30 years later. So this flag we actually showed at the PIFA festival, but it ignited our interest in finding out more about Kanaka Davis. So we gathered together Pacific Islanders to launch this campaign, to launch this effort. So we got together the three largest Pacific Islander groups in Hawaii, the Hawaiian community, the Samoan community, and the Chamorro community. So these are all the community leaders. We met and we decided we're going to have to do something about it because nobody's going to tell our story. You know, we have to tell our own story if we're going to make this community aware of what Hawaiians can do. So again, at the festival, Auntie Dolly and I presented this idea to the crowd of some 30,000 people. Auntie Dolly is holding the Hōkūleʻa flag wrapped in tapa. That's the maiden voyage flag from the Hōkūleʻa. And here is a picture of me holding the mayor of San Diego's proclamation honoring Kanaka Davis as the founder of San Diego. And with me, joining me, are leaders in the community and representative from the mayor's office. That very same year, we had a big gathering in Pantoja Park, the very park, the center of his downtown development. And in this event, which was actually part of the May 2022 Asian Pacific Island Heritage Month, we had gathered all of the Pacific Islander community and proclamations from congressional delegations, state and senators from San Diego, the city councilmen, the supervisors, and we had all of them present proclamations. And we're holding those proclamations up, formally recognizing for the first time the honor of recognizing this Hawaiian who founded downtown San Diego. This was a huge accomplishment. Another picture of this same event is Moana Alo, who at the time was the community representative for Assemblywoman Weber. And she's speaking on behalf of the Assemblywoman. I should also let everybody know that we're very proud of Moana because she is now running for city councilwoman for the city of La Mesa. And she's working on her PhD in giving Hawaiian voices in the community. It's an interesting dissertation. And here's a picture of me welcoming the Samoan community. This is one of the leaders, Papa Ali'i, and I've worked with him so many times. They've been so supportive of our effort. Our close relationship with the Samoan community in San Diego is really ma'a. Here we have some of the politicians. On the right is Councilman Steve Whitburn, who was absolutely supportive from the very beginning, continues to be supportive. And whenever we have events, he's always there to support us. And here is a shot of my colleagues at the Gaslamp Porter Historical Foundation. This is the staff and board directors. I'm so proud of them. They've rallied behind this this effort to recognize Kanaka Davis, and we're all dressed in the period costume of the time. And it was just a wonderful event, beautiful day. And here's another shot of the same event. And we have some of the community leaders, Uncle Lono, Auntie Denise Meyer, Anissa from the Chamoan community, and myself, Auntie Anthea, Sandy from the Gaslamp, and Jamie from the Gaslamp. Here are pictures of the proclamations from congressional, state, Senate, Assembly, and council districts. There were many more, but this is just a sample. Again, the bust, which then became part of the monument's bronze plaque. So this was part of the monument that we created. This is cast in bronze, and it is now attached to the monument, and it is officially an historical landmark for the city of San Diego, recognizing Kanaka Davis as the founder of this park. On this same monument is another bronze plaque that describes briefly his accomplishments, his lineage, and Uncle Crawford described this more in detail, but this is a summary that's on the plaque. And there's a QR code there as well. So visitors can dial onto that code, and it'll go directly to our museum, which has more information on the life and achievement of Kanaka Davis. So in constructing the monument, we had to specially design the footage for this because it's a 5,000 pound solid granite block imported from India. And so the foundation had to be specially designed for this. And it took a lot of work to get the city permit and investigation of the grounds. As you know, back in Hawaii, and the same thing here in San Diego, the city is concerned about not digging up indigenous sites And so it took almost 6 months for the city to investigate this site, which is in the middle of downtown and presumably on Kumeyaay land. So they wanted to make sure we were not building over historic spiritual sites that's important to the Kumeyaay Nation. And here is the formal unveiling of the monument. And we have two lovely ladies, Miss Pacific Islander Festival Queen on the left, and our own Hui o Hawaii Queen Kalani unveiling the monument. You can see the bronze head bust on top of the granite stone. And here is the Samoan community honoring another Pacific Islander and the pride it brings to all Pacific Islanders that connects all of us as one people. This is a shot of the original Kanaka Davis Trust Group members. So I'm so proud of this group. For 3 years, we worked so hard to put this all together. And it's really a tremendous mo'olelo that, you know, someday we're going to have to write a book on this. But the work we did, the sacrifices, the countless hours put behind this ended up, of course, resulting in this monument, not only to Pacific Islander communities, but to all of San Diegans. Now, every summer since then, we have been celebrating Kanaka Davis' birthday, or his Piko ceremony, at the museum. And this is one of the events that we had, which is generally at the end of the summer, a picture of the celebration of his life. That's Uncle Bob on the right, Auntie Anthea next to the picture, and me. We are also very, very proud to have visitors that come to the park. And one of our distinguished visitors is Kumu Kahanuola from Kamehameha Schools. He's a Olelo Hawaii instructor there. And I'm told a very, very talented singer. So he visited us. We showed him the museum. He was impressed. Said he was going to go back and let our folks know back in Hawaii all about this museum, Kanaka Davis. But he was here to teach us Hawaiian language, Olelo Hawaii. Jamie on the left is one of his haumana. We also wanted to spread the word out, this mo'olelo of Kanaka Davis, to all the Asian Pacific Islander communities. So in this annual event with the Chinese community, we were there to share our story, and we were wholeheartedly invited to present our mo'olelo, to be there to honor him. So our effort to reach out to not just the Pacific Islanders, but also other communities to share this story. That was very important to us. We felt that we need to collaborate and reach out to all San Diegans. So, as Uncle Crawford had mentioned, Kanaka Davis is very active in the Bay Area. So, in San Francisco, he was a huge impact factor in its early years, being a prominent merchant. So here's a shot about the time when he was there and helped create commerce. He was in fact, it was the first city council in San Francisco after it became a state. And he was one of the first councilmen. He was very active, and he was influential in building the first public school in the city of San Francisco and the very first Catholic school in San Francisco. Today, the Davis Street is named after him. So if you're familiar with San Francisco, the Davis Street is more in the financial district along the waterfront. That's in honor of him. Across the bay in San Leandro, they also recognize him as one of its civic leaders in the very early stages of the growth of the city of San Leandro. So this monument recognizes him. There's a little plaque and story about what his contribution has been in laying out the city of San Leandro with his brother-in-law and with his family, his prominent Estudillo family. So he's well recognized in the city of San Leandro, and they too have a street, a major street named after him, Davis Street. We are in the process now of furthering that effort. So we want to expand on what the city has done. We have plans to celebrate his achievements up there. And again, this is a picture of the first wooden structure that he imported from Maine. This is way back in 1850, but the basic structure is what he built. And you saw an earlier contemporary picture of that, which has been modified over the time. But it is the oldest wooden structure in the city of San Diego. And again, every birthday time, we celebrate his birthday. You can see Uncle Crawford dressed up at Kanaka Davis. And we are delighted to have this event with Bob giving a little anecdote, a little story, a little snippet of the life of Kanaka Davis. And I think in this story, Bob, I think you shared with us the surprise that you saw from old 1850 San Diego to high-rise modern San Diego. That was a delightful presentation. Very nice. This is in the museum. So here's a copy of the bronze plaque. In the back in the middle is the picture of his map of downtown San Diego. Today, that map, generally, it is still there. The streets are still following his original map. They extend to the left, to the west, and they extend to the north. Some of the streets are still there, still named after the original names that he had given them. And back at the unveiling, we had a huge information booth, and we had crowds of people that were interested in knowing more about this Hawaiian guy that founded down San Diego. We're constantly amazed how much people are surprised to know that downtown San Diego was founded by a Pacific Islander. Another picture of the honoring ceremony, the opening ceremony, the unveiling ceremony of the monument. Here we have the VIPs present that made speeches on behalf of the unveiling. Port Commissioner Sid Bakara, Port Commissioner Chair Danielle Moore, City Councilman Steve Whitburn, and a prominent Asian Chinese community leader, Natasha Wong. And this is my niece, who brought her halau all the way down to participate and honor her blood cousin, Kanaka Davis. Renee Ayu Antai is a descendant of the Mahi clan as well. And so we felt it was appropriate for her halau to come down and to honor Kanaka Davis with a special performance. Mahalo, Renee. And then again, we honor Kanaka Davis, not only with his birthdays, but with every summer we have an Aloha Saturday. Just fun time. We invite the public. And this next week, Saturday, we're going to have a Hawaiian reggae event down in the park next to the museum. And that's to generate more interest and more visibility to the achievements of Kanaka Davis. I want to share with you that all of our effort the Kanaka Davis Group did over the last 3 years was recognized by State Assembly person, Boner, and there were others as well. But I just want to show this, that, you know, the work we do, that all of us do, we do our best. And when we do it, people do recognize what we do. And I'm hoping that this is a story for all of us. Oh, yes. And of course, you know, all of this work, they are silent workers. And you see a picture of Auntie Thea, Auntie Denise, and Uncle Lono. These are the silent worker bees. You know, they're shy. They don't want to be in the picture. But I forced them. So I wanted to share this picture with them. They're the workhorse. They're always there. They're so reliable. And I just want to mahalo them. And you know, it's kind of our tradition. Sometimes we're too humble. So I want to end up with the pictures of our museum. So I'm going to take you inside the Davis House Museum. This is the last remaining structure that Kanaka Davis built in downtown San Diego, and it's now a museum. So I'm going to take you inside and show you some pictures. E kumamai. And here's a shot in the parlor. Pictures of the residents that have been in the museum. You can see a picture of Kanaka Davis on the wall there. Close up of that picture. Down in the community room, we have an exhibition of him right now. It'll be on for the next couple of months. And in it, we have his entire history and achievements. And we welcome everybody, if you're visiting San Diego, to come to the museum. It's a pictorial display. It's a display of its rare books. On this cabinet on the right side are his books that he wrote, 75 years in California, that Uncle Bob had mentioned, as well as books that are not published anymore. They're rare books, so we gotta like put them in a glass container, make sure nobody walk up with it. The wonderful display. Please come on down. And in that display is a copy of Auntie Gail's book. It is also on sale in our bookstore, right on the second floor, and it sells rapidly. Pictures of the exhibition in the community room, just examples. We also have a t-shirt. So we've sold many t-shirts for folks who are astounded and surprised to know about Kanaka Davis and proud to wear his t-shirts. Yeah, so come on down to the museum and make sure you get one of these t-shirts. So, mahalo, but I want to just close by saying that this effort has been a tremendous effort in collaborating and building relationships, not only within the Pacific Islander community, but trying to reach out to the folks back home. This presentation is part of that effort. We hope we can our relationships, our connections. We have family, we have friends back home as well. But sometimes that 2,000 miles separate us. But you know, we are all one cocoa, one culture. Our traditions and our beliefs are still the same. But we have to adjust, just like Kanaka Davis did. We got to navigate a different terrain, different cultures. And what makes us successful as a community is that we know how to do that. We have this aloha power that unites people. You know, it's magical. We do that up here as well. So we hope to share this with generations to come. We think it's very important. I know as we speak that this unveiling and what we've done has inspired the San Diego Public School District. They are now going to put this mo'olelo in their fourth grade historic history curriculum. And the Southwest Community College just recently announced that they want to have this story in their ethnic studies program, and they are putting out an outreach for a Olelo Hawaii speaker. So that was a surprise to us. I hope they found somebody, but they want to teach Olelo Hawaii at the community college here in San Diego. So with that, I want to introduce Uncle Lono, who wants to conclude this presentation with some insights and a story to share with us. So, Uncle Kolar, are you there? Please join us.
Aloha mai kako. Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little louder, Ken.
Ken, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, I want to apologize. We had this a little bit more polished, but Murphy's Law kicked in and someone else was flipping slides. So my job got technically outrated, and Uncle Gil had to step in and finish things up for us. So mahalo, Uncle Gil.
Aye.
Just the way things go. We do have, I just wanted to say a few things. First of all, mahalo for all of you folks for joining us and allowing us to share this mo'olelo about our kupuna. It is very rewarding for us to be involved with this, to help it grow, and to create the resources that we need to tell our story ourselves. So we're just starting to do this, and this is our first multimedia presentation. So we're working out the kinks. It's going to get better. We also have more research to do, looking up north, and in a lot of the universities, there are pieces of content all over the place in California. So we have to go find all of this stuff and bring it together so that we can tell this story. And it's pretty much hidden in the history, but at the time it was news, and it was written about a lot. And Kanaka Davis wrote his own story, 65 years in California, and he was writing the follow-on to that, 75 years in California, when he passed, and somebody else finished that for him. But his life story is well documented. The thing that we are trying to bring out is how can we tell this story so that our Opio understand the trials that our ancestors had to go through, the things that they had to overcome in order to make things happen. This project is a very big project. It takes a lot of people, and it takes a lot of know-how to pull all of this together. All that collaboration has to happen before you can start moving forward on a project like this. So it takes a long time. And it's our kuleana to make sure that we lift up our kupuna this way. And I just wanted to say that we do need to do more collaboration in our community. And this is one of the examples of what collaboration can do for us. And we're getting huge positive responses from our Opio also to want to know more about their ancestry. So, I encourage all of you to start collaborating, start setting aside some time to take care of your kuleana, to take care of your kupuna, and to uplift the lahui. And I want to end by saying, hey, Hawaii au mau a mau. I will always be Hawaiian. So wherever I go, I'm still Hawaiian. And mahalo for this opportunity. Ahui ho.
Mahalo piha, Uncle Lokolo. So, Auntie Malia, this concludes our presentation. Do you want to say some ending words?
Hi, mahalo nui. You know, I learned so much. And I really want to say mahalo to each of you. I think my next visit to San Diego will be very different. And so I look forward to booking my next flight out to San Diego and hoping I can come and visit all of you in these special places. And like you invited our Kayaulu, our community, you know, I will do the same. I'll invite all of you to please make a visit to San Diego, connect with our ohana that's there, and let's all learn more and uplift our kupuna that have done so much, you know, in these places, and to all of you for sharing this mo'olelo, this story as a part of Hawaiian History Month. So mahalo nui. You know, I will say I've been monitoring the chat in the YouTube, and you know, we have people from all different parts tuning in. And one of them is our fellow Civic Club member and former president of the association, which is Suli Stroud, tuning in from Utah. And he's sharing his aloha to all of you. He did share, I think, a good question. Is there an account established to donate to the Gas Lamp Museum Davis Horton House?
Yes, there is. Mahalo for asking. We would like to do so much more in the future to honor him. We would like to have more educational programs. We would like to put his display on the road to share it in different venues. Maybe even come to Hawaii to share it back home. So, you know, all that costs kala, right? So we would appreciate any kokua. I don't have that information in front of me, but I can share that with Malia later on.
Hikino, mahalo. Yeah, please share that information. We can put it on our Hawaii Pono'i website, which is hawaiianhistorymonth.org. And yeah, however we can support the work that all of our ohana are doing around the world, especially there in San Diego. So I'm going to ask Courtney to bring up some of our closing slides here. Really just to say mahalo to all of our Hawaii Pono'i Coalition members and partners. And, you know, like you said, it takes a lot of us to laulima, to work together, and to make things like the research about Kanaka Davis happen. And the same thing happens here for Hawaiian History Month. So our members include, and I'm going to helu out all of their names because everyone is working really hard behind the scenes. So mahalo nui to Kamehameha Schools, Friends of Iolani Palace, the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs, Papa Ola Lokahi, the UH Manoa John A. Burns School of Medicine, Department of Native Hawaiian Health, Ahahui Ona Kauka, UH Manoa Center for Biographical Research, UH Manoa Hawaii Nui Akea School of Hawaiian Knowledge, and a few more there. All of our partners, you saw a list there. And again, a big mahalo to everyone that continues to make this happen for us behind the scenes and, you know, out in our community. Ke aloha.
Aloha.